Hello, and welcome to my channel, DID, Dissociative Identity Disorder / Psychosis, versus Kundalini Awakening, Conscious Expansion, Christ Consciousness. I did a video yesterday and I referenced something on there about my trip to Ghana. And while I was in Ghana, I got to visit a lot of the slavery ports in Ghana along the coast, from Jamestown right across. And I had some really amazing spiritual experiences there, connecting with my ancestors, being guided by spirit channeling through me, moving my body around, going underground, standing where my ancestors stood, hearing these downloads, hearing all these messages from them. It was absolutely beautiful. And I made a comment on there on the video I did yesterday, stating that I don't think I went properly into it, but I will now. But I made a statement about that in my opinion, from what I saw and what my ancestors were saying, and from the information that, or the way that I've interpreted that information, is basically saying that the people that are in Africa today, generationally, if you like, because obviously Africa has grown significantly since slavery days, but those Africans that remained during that time were the Africans that were selling the black people to the white slave owners. Does that make sense? Like, there was a lot of the kidnap, and it's recorded in African history. You know, one of the museums we went to, and it was only a small one, this one in particular, because to be honest, we were in we wasn't in Volta. We were in Volta, but we were in a different part of Volta actually. So where I went to visit the voodoo priest, where a lot of the voodoo priests are, the significant ones, is in a place called Panda or Pando in Volta in Ghana. Where this slave museum was on another part of Ghana, which is more on the coast. So the hotel that I was at wasn't far away from the beach at all. And around that area happened to be this museum, which actually they found it. I think somebody had bought some land, and from when they started digging on the land, they realised that there was stuff there. But I think it was also linked to a university lecturer that had been doing some historical work too. So between them, they'd renovated it and restored it, and it's now a museum. But it's literally just a building in the middle of a village, if you like. But it's got so much ancestral heritage to it. And there's like a hole in the ground, like a square. And you take a ladder and you go down there and you stand in this underground room, if you like. It's crazy, of where they kind of would keep the slaves before the boat came in. And how in the courtyard, all these things were kind of like hammered into the ground to kind of harbour the chains on there. And there's all these sculptures of women and children being taken away as slaves in chains. And do you know what I mean? And as I was growing up, I didn't really want to hear anything about it. You know, like I grew up with a mom that was very Pan-African and a stepdad that was 12 tribe. So everything was about black positivity. There wasn't really any of that Kunta Kinte shit. It was Lion of Judah, Jah Rastafari, you know, black and proud kind of shit. So the slavery it just wasn't for me. But going to Ghana on 2 occasions, and actually walking in the footsteps of my ancestors, I've come to understand something quite different. You know, that there is a significant part of history, because what the beauty is that my ancestors that left Africa and went through all of that trauma that they went through, their bloodline, or the blood of those my ancestors that left Africa still remain in me. Like their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, their ideas, their love. Do you know what I mean? Their fears, it all lives in me. You know, nothing has been lost. Their story is not lost. I heard their stories. I saw their stories. So anyway, now, when I'm talking about these Africans, the ones in Africa that remained are obviously the ones that were selling the rest of us as slaves, the black people within the diasporas worldwide, unless you're an African that grew up in Africa and left Africa to pursue education, career, whatever. But those of us that generationally, our parents were Jamaican or American and we got there through slave ships, then we are part of that diaspora. And what my ancestors were telling me is that a lot of black voodoo and black magic was used around the kidnapping and enslavement of those black people at the time. And when I went to one of these forts, again, I can't remember the name of the place that I went, but this one was really, really, really far out. And when we got there and we walked around and my ancestors was coming through and we was walking through the kitchen area of where the slaves would cook, where they would sleep, where they would bath, and we got to the bathing area and there was just like one long sink thing, like what you would expect to see at a stable where horses would drink from. And this was their washing water and this was their drinking water. And about 50 plus slaves, women slaves, would have to wash in that water and then that would be their drinking water after. And he said the reason why they did it like that is because there was other black Africans teaching the white slave owners about African witchcraft and how to bind their spiritual gifts and their spiritual powers by having them drink that type of water. And that's what this man who's the gatekeeper for the museum or the slavery fort, etc. These are the things that had been recorded in historical paperwork, literature, notes that had been written, etc., etc. So he was just passing on some of the stories that he had come to understand. And he's a big man, and he's lived in that area his whole life, and he's got the keys to the castle, if you like. And it was just, it kind of coincided with a lot of what my ancestors had been downloading about. A lot of the witchcraft has been used to bind us. A lot of stuff is happening on an extraterrestrial level to bind us. And I went to Africa and I met this group of people last year to do ayahuasca. And I'm telling you now, that experience solidified for me about there's certain black people that are running this country. And I know it might seem like a big jump from witchcraft to whatever, but what she told me, the leader of this ayahuasca retreat, because her brothers, the way she described his abilities, I can resonate with that. But she's always talking in third person because it's never her experience. It's always somebody else's experience. So what I'm saying is third person because she's telling me what her brother told her, not that she had the experience herself. So it's not her testimony. So it could be a fucking lie. You know what I mean? But why, just before we were supposed to go into the ayahuasca, we was in the room of the ayahuasca ceremony, but I didn't participate in the ayahuasca ceremony with her. But while we were sitting down before that discussion took place, she told me a few things. And she says to me, her brother told her that he went to visit, like he learned how to astral project outside of his body, and once he got the hang of it, he started to go different places or whatever. And he turned up at in fact, you know what? Let me tell you this story first, okay? She says to me about an African woman that she knows in Africa. And she says that this woman had accidentally turned up at the Buckingham Palace in the UK. She'd astral projected from Africa and turned up at the doors of Buckingham Palace. And when she got to the front door of whatever this Buckingham Palace was, and I'm not laughing because at the end of the day it is what it is. She said a black old lady, another African lady, had opened up the door and says to her, "You shouldn't be here." And when she said, "You shouldn't be here," the woman, because the woman was looking at her directly in her face, it startled her, and she literally went back and woke up back in her body in the bed. She said 2 days after that, she got a knock on the door, and 2 white men dressed in suits turned up at her house and told her that they knew that she had turned up wherever she had turned up last night, and they want to hire her. Yeah, they want to hire her. Hire her for what? They want to hire her to use her extrasensory perception, her gifts. So I said, yeah, is that what goes on? And Akira was like, yeah. So that was one confirmation. When I say one confirmation, as in like my ancestors are talking to me, are telling me things, but you kind of think like, oh, is it a movie? Sounds like a movie. But my girl was dropping several bombs on me. Another bomb she dropped is about a girl who was in Africa, and she was due to be crowned queen, and her parents decided to declare her as being mad and locked her in a madhouse. And one day she escaped and was running down the street, and they were chasing her. These are some little tiny parable stories she's just dropping. There's no beginning and there's no end, you know. What I'm giving you is what I got. But what she gave me made so much sense. Because I too was locked in a madhouse in 2024, and I too had to escape and get out of there. And I too believe that my karmic parents had everything to do with it. Does that make sense? So, and then some. So why is she dropping these type of bombs on me, if you like? Again, they're not gonna seem like bombs to the naked eye, but when you're going around and you're working with spirit and you're getting downloads, you know that there are no coincidences. Everything that comes in is a sign. Everything that comes in is a message. Everything that comes in, you better pay attention to. Even the colour of my man's shoes when he come in are so significant. Colours, sounds, symbols, numbers, times, dates. You know what I'm saying? It's all significant. It's not a joke. But I've put it on right now because I've come across this video, and he hasn't alluded to what I've just said about black people use. Basically, my beliefs is that black people run the world. It's not white people. There is an illusion that white people, because from a little girl, and not just from a little girl, but from a little girl, I always had the perspective about slavery, because I look at the black man and I look at the black woman, and physically, they are built differently. Does that make sense? Almost machine-like. Muscle, power, determination, etc., etc. You know what I mean? And you do hear about these tribes, like the Zulu warriors, the Ashantis and stuff like that, that never gave up. The Nyabingis and everybody else. They never ever gave up. They carried on fighting and could not be defeated by armies. Even Haiti. I was watching a documentary the other day about Haiti being like the first country to really push back on the British army and not be defeated and stand tall, and they started the first independence country and all the rest of it, you know. So there was a lot of black ethnics that did push back. But the point is that from my perspective as a child, I always thought, how did white people overthrow so many black people? How are you gonna go to Africa and be the minority and cause such destruction? Like, how has that happened? Can anybody please explain to me how we went from building pyramids to being in chains? There's a big chunk missing, obviously. What happened in the middle? Because it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? And I remember getting involved with Dr. Malachi York, the ancient Egyptian order, when I was around 17. And even though it didn't kind of go into the spell work and the voodoo of it, it did kind of allow to say that there was extraterrestrial involvement, you know what I mean? Once, like the albinos, which is where white people kind of came from as descendants from black people. Look at the rain outside, my God, and it's August. They moved off to the Caucasus Mountains. But even I was talking to Chat the other day, even if albinos, we move them into the cold winter right now, they're not necessarily going to end up with blonde hair and blue eyes. What happened there? You know, like because according to Dr. Malachi York, those blue eyes and blonde hair people came from planet Ritz or something like that, you know. Like, them people are here because actually they are a different extraterrestrial race. It's not necessarily a descendant. They're made differently. So my man on this show, he talks about black people being in charge, which I thought was quite interesting. And it also talks about a little bit of the genetic makeup of white people, Caucasian people, which Dr. Malikayo talked about from time, you know, with regards to like their hair being more similar to that of a dog or a wolf. And no disrespect, it is what it is, isn't it? You know, for years and years we've put up with the fact that allegedly we're monkeys. We've got nothing to do with a monkey. We're extraterrestrial. We come from, you know, Anunnaki and everything else. You know what I'm saying? We are gods. What you're talking about? We are creators. We've never made from a monkey. You know, but anyway, I digest. I just feel like I like these high level intellectual conversations, and the joke is it's my man against 10 Christians. All day long, man. All day, blood clot long. So it's 607 UNC versus 10 Christians, heated debate, and it's on Digital Social Hour podcast by Shane Kelly and 5 more. And it was a month ago. Yeah, but I've just catched the pepper today.
Stuck inside.
But you say stuck.
Yeah, stuck.
So then what's outside of that? What is outside the prison planet?
There's nothing outside.
Oh, the question was, is Earth a
prison?
prison?
Say, when it say in the Bible, God created heaven, and it say He created heaven and He stayed in heaven. It say He created this shit and He stayed here. It never said He's outside of this. There's no outside of the universe. Everybody tell you this. There's no outside of the universe. You can't go outside of it because there's no outside. It's only inside.
So is Mars a prison planet? Like, is everything prison?
What do you mean?
I'm saying, do you believe in other planets, or that's bullshit too?
I'm gonna say this. Only time you
Don't touch that.
Listen, the planet's gonna determine where you from. Why you think they got zodiac signs? So the planet's gonna determine where you from. Okay, cool. You from Mars, then you know how you act according to the zodiac sign. What's that white nigga name that do all that shit? Bring him back. Yeah, bring that nigga back. He'll tell you about the planets and shit. I'm gonna tell you about you.
That's your boy.
Yeah, I ain't none of my boy. I don't got no boy. Everything is me. I don't think you understand. Right, but we stuck us out of prison because you can't get out.
And the warden is Trump.
Well, right now, but I'm gonna tell you this. A lot of people suggest that it's like 13 families that's running everything, but I suggest that it's the original. I'm gonna say this. A lot of people ain't gonna like this, but I'm gonna say this. It's the original black man, because the black man don't know who the fuck he is. He don't know. Like the black man's out. I'm from Africa. Where you from? Well, they know they was here, but they know they.
You're gonna talk about the black man in this way. And I don't know whether or not he goes into it from my perspective, but when he's talking, when my man comes in with another question, he doesn't always get to finish or land the point that he was making, because the guy opposite him isn't really comprehending the level where my man's taking it in order to give my man a serious answer going back, you know. That's what I noticed from the start of this conversation anyway.
They got here because we know that we gave Indians certain shit while the Indians was here. So we know that we popped up here, but we don't know where the fuck we came from. But they're going to say you came from Africa. They're going to take me to Africa. They're going to say, oh shit, this nigga not African. So what the fuck is this nigga? Where the fuck did he come from? Right?
Do you ever done like genealogy, the ancestry.com, and where are your people from? You can look it up.
Show me your hair.
My hair?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
Show me your hair.
I think you're
Show me your hair.
No, eyes don't work and nothing's real. It's here. You want a piece of, pull a piece out.
Okay, so what's this? If that's hair, what's this?
The uglier hair.
No, not ugly hair. Listen, no. Say what you have is probably the same thing a dog has.
What?
No, I'm keeping it real. It's not hair. You have the same thing a dog has, okay, right? Because you mix with dog, pig, and monkey.
Me?
Yeah,
bro.
You're a human,
and you're not.
You were created to work.
I'm with a dog. Wait, what am I?
I don't think you get it.
You said I'm a dog, a pig, and a monkey.
Yeah, that's what I'm, mama. That's what you are. They looked it up. They tried to look your genes up. The AI fact checking this.
If AI tells me I'm part donkey pig, listen, I'll give you $100,000.
Listen, but I'm not. Listen, I'm saying this, but let me say this something about you. You that, but you don't have no land here. See, it's something strange about me and you, because me and you both don't have a land here. We take everything here. You go take shit, replace shit. But where the fuck are you from? Is it a white land? Right? Listen, we have a German Shepherd. I'm gonna tell you where the fuck a German Shepherd is from. The fucking dog is from fucking Germany. Where the fuck the white man from? We don't know. Where the fuck the black man from? We don't know. Right? We don't know.
Black people are from Africa, and then white people from Caucasus.
No. Take me to Africa. They're gonna tell me I'm not from there, because Africa was broke up. Listen, Africa was broke up by you guys. Y'all broke Africa down in sets. Y'all named it based on trade, based on what y'all was getting from each particular part. Africans never called themselves Nigerians and shit like that. You guys did that shit.
Right.
They do that. Right. That came from you. Right? Because you're kind. You're kind.
But you said the black people are the ones running the show.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. Black people.
12 families.
I'm saying this. Yeah. No.
That's what he's trying to say.
The white families, the black people control. I don't think you understand.
So the black people are controlling the white families, you're saying?
Of course.
It's not of course.
I'm telling you for real.
I mean, I believe
That's
you.
what my ancestors are saying.
We
got to.
true because everybody know this. You gonna go different places. They gonna say, "Oh, these people on these lands just disappeared. They just disappeared. These people just disappeared." The crazy ass Hebrew Israelites, they think it's them. I asked the Israelites. They say they're the chosen people. They think that the people that everybody looking for is them. That's what they think. But it's the people that have been lost, have been tricked. Because the worst thing they can do is take something from you, hide it from you, and the whole time it's still in you. Right? So the whole time they hid it from me, but the whole time it was still stuck in me. That's why I don't read now.
It was
I don't even read. The priest
You
who
don't
try to
have
make
to
you
read.
Tell us nigga don't try to do it no more. I don't read. No.
You have to unlock your codes.
I read people and I read energy, right? And
Right.
I read frequencies and shit.
Right.
Do you believe that you're in the
I
prison
don't believe
planet?
shit. Stop playing. I don't believe shit.
Right.
I'm saying this,
Are you in the prison planet? Let me word that.
I'm saying this. You probably are. I'm here having an experience. Right?
That's it.
I'm having an experience.
That's
I'm
it.
having a human experience.
That's
here,
it.
Right? Because when I this body supposedly died, whatever inside of me is gonna move past the body. Right? So this is like a video game. I'm playing. Right?
That's
people
it.
Don't understand
It's
how
just a
play.
version of
So
reality.
that's why people here and they complaining, right? And they don't want to accept that it's a prison. I knew a lot of niggas in prison would never accept that they was in prison, right? They wouldn't accept it. They thought they was in the streets, so they started fucking fags. Yeah, they thought they was in the streets, yeah. They wouldn't accept that they was in prison. You ain't supposed to do this. But they bending niggas over. Okay, you would have got bent.
All right, hold up. First off, no.
Okay.
I'm not getting bent over and fucked, all right? If this is a prison planet, there's every new baby who's born that's what it is. They're in prison.
Yeah.
For their entire,
From you hand over the baby's birth certificate. That's it,
Listen,
man.
there's two things that happen. Every time, everybody know this. If you watch this, you did this and stop lying. Every time you went to jail, you cried. Every time you're born, you cry. Right? It's like the same reaction. I'm telling you, I don't think you understand.
But I stubbed my toe and I cried. I don't mean I'm in prison.
I don't think you understand, right? Get out. I mean, get out. You can go so far. Even right now, you can't go across the border. You can't leave America without a passport. Right? So right now, no one watching this in America can leave America without a passport. Tell me you're not in prison.
That's some governmental boundary bullshit.
Yeah, it's prison. It's prison. It's prison. You cannot get out, and you cannot justify the fact that we all in prison. The only way to get out is in. Right? When you don't accept everything without, you go within, because there's one thing that's kind of like in everything. A lot of people don't know this. There's one thing that's in everything. There's only one thing that's in everything. In happiness and pain and sadness, there's only one thing. Peace.
Peace?
Yeah, peace is in the bottom of everything, because that's the only thing that's in everything. So if you find that peace,
and
then
joy.
you become free. Free is
and
peace.
joy too, though.
Right, a lot of times,
100% peace, but joy too, man. Oh my God, such joy.
I need something to move.
Addicted to the chaos.
Exactly. We're addicted to it. Let me tell you a story. Right. A lot of people watching this, they probably don't understand this story. But if you understand the story, you're gonna understand how everything I say is true. Right. No, for real. It was 5 monkeys. Right. Five monkeys. There's 5 monkeys. Okay. They locked them down in the cave. Right. They took what's that name of that thing?
Are you talking about conscious expansion?
No, not an elevator. That's gotta move that. What's that thing? A ladder.
Yeah.
They took a ladder right there, right? They took a ladder. They put a ladder there, and then at the top of the ladder, they took some bananas there, right? Okay. And so the monkeys start climbing for the bananas. They sprayed them with water. Sprayed that bitch down. They sprayed them down. Every time they went up, they sprayed them down. Boom. So now the monkey said, look, don't go for that. Based in their head. So one monkey grabbed for it. They went and grabbed him. They sprayed him down. He went down. Listen, so now every time one grab him, they ain't got to spray him. The other monkeys is fighting him. They replaced all the monkeys one by one by one by one. Now they got brand new monkeys in there. None of them never been hit by water, but none of them touched the banana.
And they don't even know why.
They don't know why. And that's what's going on here, right? See, people don't ask questions. Listen, I'm gonna say this. If you gotta believe, you gotta ask, why did they give it to me? What?
You know what my spirit just says to me? Because I've been doing these video recordings, and I've been like, my ancestors are just like, these fucking Masons are monkeys. They're fucking monkeys. Monkeys and donkeys. And I was going through an experience in 2024 where I was under the covers of the bed. The ancestors had put me under there. I say the ancestors had put me under there, but the ancestor was with me under there, I should have said. And there was playing one of those nature videos in my ear, trying to put me back to sleep consciously. Like I was a fucking monkey. And they're saying, like, they're talking to me like I'm a newborn monkey waking up with my eyes for the first time, as if they were trying to reprogram me with a whole different fucking story. And the voice of it was in what's my man? You know, the black guy with lots of kind of freckles on his face, and he's got that voice, and he does a lot of the background narrated, whatever his name is anyway. His voice it was in. And I was saying to my aunties, what the fuck has this got to do? What has this got to do with anything? Then I've got experiences of Masonic rituals going on in my house. And it's like a game of monkey going on in the house. Even now, I've got a symbol at the back with the 3 monkeys. Monkey see, monkey do. That's all they kept saying to me, monkey. So when he's saying that it started with 5 monkeys, it sounds like a joke. You know what I mean? What's he talking about? It started with 5 monkeys, but it's not saying that it started with 5 monkeys. He's talking about the consciousness of these monkeys. That it's a shared ideology that gets passed down in the DNA structure, so that they've learned information, etc. But there's also a flip side of it for me, where these monkeys have taken our ancient knowledge, done Chinese whispers with it, and everybody's following the same fucking monkey doing the same thing, but they're not doing it right. They've taken our ancient secret knowledge and turned it into this fucking monkey show. And that's why my ancestors are like, they're a bunch of fucking monkeys. Monkey see, monkey do. None of them ain't using their intelligence. None of them are going inside of themselves to actually find the answers of what is actually the truth. They're just copying what the next person in front, as in the leader, the boss, the hierarchy. Everybody's ascending to go from the son to the dad to the grandpa, from the son to the dad to the grandpa. That's the ladder. That's the ladder that or the Western society, or I can't even say Western society because it's more than that. It's like a slavery mentality, when actually we're not supposed to be following anybody. Everybody is here having an individual experience. You know what I mean? So the fact that we all go to school and learn the same curriculum is bullshit. That's the monkey dance. The fact that we get up and everybody's at work for 9 o'clock, regardless of what fucking country you live in, that's the monkey dance. When everybody's walking around in a COVID mask, that's the monkey dance. Monkey see, monkey do. Anyway.
Where did it come from, and what the fuck they're trying to get me to do? Because every belief, every stipulation that you got was for somebody else and not for you.
Yeah.
Unless you gave it to you.
Well, you say you don't read.
I read people.
So you get
I read.
downloads.
No,
What if you
I
get the
read.
wrong download?
No,
How do you know the downloads are correct?
Downloads a computer. I read people. Listen, I'm gonna say this. If you probably don't understand this, but you probably do understand this. But if you ever been to the streets, gang, I'm from the trenches, gang, and I can have 5, 6 niggas with me. We walk in the room. It's time to rob this bitch. We speaking. We speaking. We speaking, nigga. Nigga, we speaking. Before you know it, the shit up on you. And you on the ground. How the fuck I ain't heard nothing? No, you ain't heard nothing. Because this don't have to be moved.
There's a lot of communication happening without
words.
Of
course. A lot of the information. Listen, most of the communication in the world is nonverbal.
Yes.
Right? I said that yesterday.
That's the first true thing you said all day.
Okay, everything I said, it don't matter. Everything I said is true and false at the same time.
Obviously,
every lie is a truth in it, and every truth is a lie in it.
It's a contradiction. It's a double fuck, bro.
You're wrong.
It's a contradiction. It's a thank you and a fuck you at the same time.
Episode or got any value at all, please share this episode with a friend.
Two things can be true at the same time, and two things can be a lie at the same time. So what does that tell you?
I'm not gonna do this. I mean, this don't make sense.
This guy?
Yeah.
All right.
It tells you that it's a perspective.
No, let's go.
Everything's a perspective. There's no evil, no good.
Same thing I'm saying. I don't think you're gonna disagree with me.
Sometimes on some things, but most of the things, hey, if I agree with it, I'm just gonna be quiet. Cause my mama told me if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all.
Well, you believe in Jesus?
I believe there's somebody up there.
Do you believe in Jesus?
I don't believe in nobody I ain't never met before.
So no, you do or no?
I believe my grandma believed in Jesus.
No, you said something about good. So you told me you believe in Jesus, and I was gonna ask you, was Jesus good? A lot of people watching this, they're gonna say, yeah, that Jesus was good. But how? Because Jesus was running around telling people stuff that they should do. People didn't like Jesus for the stuff that he was doing, so Jesus could never have been good. But perception,
he was human.
But he was never good.
And humans ain't good.
That's what I'm saying. So a lot of people say, oh man, Jesus was good. I gotta be good like Jesus. Nigga, Jesus was never fucking good. right? So I just wanted to say that because when
Well,
you
a
said
lot of
something
people,
about
a lot of people like Jesus because they drink wine. So a winehead like Jesus.
I mean, is it wine or blood?
You be the guest. You be the.
I mean, if it was blood, you can understand they got the stem cells and they're trying to keep themselves young, so blood make more sense than wine.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, blood make more sense than wine, so I'd rather drink some young blood.
Ooh,
I ain't drinking no blood.
don't wait. Man said on air that he would rather drink blood. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, no way. Because differently, that's what it is. That's what it is. The best kept secret blood. That's what it fucking is, man. There is something in the blood. These motherfuckers would not be going on so crazy about the blood if there wasn't something in the blood. Fact. Fact. My ancestors have got me working with blood in ways you can't even fucking imagine. I was even talking the other day that they've been talking to me about intercourse with blood and your partner eating you while you're bleeding and him powering up off the blood. Like it's not. I understand. I'm there. I've been brought up in a very Western way, and as a woman, you're made to feel like, say, you're absolutely dirty when you're on your period. So I get it. I get that there is a big jump from what we've been taught to what I'm actually saying, but there's something in the fucking blood, man. And you don't have to kill a fucking baby to have fucking blood. If you're a woman, you've got blood. Every fucking month you've got blood. You don't have to sacrifice. That's what these men problems are, you know. These men that think they're ruling the world, they're ruling the world because of the blood sacrifices that they're making. But women, we can rule the world because every single month we can make a blood sacrifice too. You know what I mean? And my ancestors told me that when we put our sanitary towels in the bins in the toilets, they don't throw that shit away. They do voodoo shit with that shit too. They say, I googled it the other day. It says that they've taken to an infirmary and they burn it. But as from your burning blood, that's a fucking ritual as far as I'm concerned. From blood's getting burned, that's a blood clot ritual, man. For what I now know, you know what I mean? Nah. So yeah, there's lots of stuff going on, man. But it's just interesting that he's just said that. That's crazy.
Okay, you just get a pump in you then.
I ain't drinking.
It's plasma.
Well, I got blood in me already.
Well, listen. Listen. I don't think you're saying if you get the plasma pumped in your body right now, it can reverse your age. Don't you want to be young again?
I'm already the oldest one in.
But that's how. Listen, this is how people remain young. See, you don't never have to get old again. All you gotta do is keep some young kids around with younger plasma and keep putting it in your body, and you're gonna remain young.
Adrenochrome.
The body was not invented to die. There were a lot of people. I hate people say I was born to die. You should do something about that because the body wasn't invented to die. Death was invented.
So what's age then?
There's no such thing as age.
Okay, so you saying people don't die. So how old do you think I am?
What
you think I'm old? You think I'm young?
I think
you think I'm middle?
I think you don't have an age. I think to try to put an age on you would be pointless because you don't have a beginning or an end.
Oh.
I do have a beginning.
No.
I begun with my mama.
No, don't you assume. Which time?
Never.
The time after my daddy bust that nut in him.
No.
What you assume?
See what I'm saying? Like they're not
I'm
having the
asking
same
you.
conversation. I'm sorry, but they're not having the same conversation. I hate that. I hate that. You know, the man said you don't have a beginning and you don't have an end. And the guy turned around and said, I do have a beginning. It starts with my mama. Like, you're not having the same conversation, are you? Because what you're in is a meat suit. Spiritually, you've lived 1,000 however many times before. So to even think to answer that question with, I started with my dada when he bust the nut in my mama. It's just next level, isn't it? Next level, man. Fuck.
The ass nowhere near you because you don't play with no asses.
I mean, it just depends on where you're at. If you're gonna play with ass or not. In the penitentiary, it's good to play with ass. Just depends on where you're at.
No, I've been to the penitentiary and I ain't played with no ass.
But somebody else was.
Quite sure it was.
It existed.
Quite sure it was.
Yeah. What's your questions though? What this?
I don't know. It sounds like y'all agree on a lot.
Yeah, we agree a lot. I know him.
Thanks for watching to the end, guys. Please comment below your thoughts on the episode. If you agree, if you disagree, I'd love to hear. I read every single comment. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. You said you believe in Jesus, right? You don't think he died? Or you do?
No, Jesus, he died, but he came back. He went to hell, and that's when he returned back to earth.
But I'm saying that Jesus,
in the flesh.
Jesus, Yahshua, Horus, whatever you want to call him, in whichever life you want to call him, but everything that he can say about Jesus' life, I got somebody here that can take it further back.
You want to bring him on?
He come right here. Whatever he can say,
All right.
he's gonna take it right back.
Let's get it.
So I'm gonna get on the way.
Peace, brother. How you doing?
Peace, brother. I'm doing good, man.
So you said you believe that Jesus died and
Yes.
went to hell and came back?
Yes, sir.
What if I told you that that's a new story?
And what do you mean by that?
What if I told you that there's a story about how one will die, go into the underworld, and come back as a
This is so fucking crazy. I did my video yesterday, yeah. This is what I was talking about. And I mentioned, because today's the 21st, so my video on the 20th. I mentioned about when the woman was talking, I was like, for me, I call it a descension. So you have an ascension when you're elevating upwards towards the Almighty, for example. Not that it's up or down. You know, we need to get out of that up or down bullshit, but whatever. For the purpose of the video. And a descension is going into hell. And I talked about my experience with these 5-foot niggers that the Almighty brought into my life as a mission after separating from my the person I was married to through divorce proceedings. That was part of my journey to hell, which was brilliant. Don't get me wrong. I went all the way to hell in a limousine. You know what I mean? And I'd do it all again tomorrow. I shit myself 100 times when I was going through it. But you know what? It is what it fucking is at the end of the day, ain't it? You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. Do you accept the mission? Yes, I fucking do. You know, so anyway, the point the point being is that I played that video from Little Nas, Call Me By My Name, where you see that he's in the Garden of Eden in heaven. Then he's thinking of all these dirty thoughts and whatever, and he's tempted by the snake. So then he's judged by the judges of the celestial realm of heaven. They deem him guilty, so he descends down the pole from heaven into hell, where he proceeds to twerk on the devil until he cracks the devil's neck and takes the devil's crown, the devil's 2 ears, basically. You know, and that is what I've come to understand through my spiritual journey, is a necessary journey of every man and woman that is having an earthly experience. Which is why I've said on some of my earlier videos that when it comes to family and friends that have gone out their way to do me wrong, and I have already seen it, I know what they're going to do before they do it. And the reason why I've been so hell-bent on trying to prevent them from doing their actions, because the Almighty is watching. You know what I mean? Like, what you think you're hiding? You're not hiding. It don't make sense. Stop digging the hole, because you're going to end up in the hole yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I've actually said those things to people, and they've still cracked on and done it their way and ended up in a bad state. And a lot of them can't come from it because of the feelings of shame and guilt. But you don't need to feel any shame and guilt for what you've done on this planet, negative or positive, because that's what you was meant to do. It's about, did you learn from it? Did you find your way back home? When you was doing it, did you know that you was doing it because it was part of your experience, as opposed to becoming the experience? You are you're not of earth. You've come to earth. This is an illusion. This is a virtual reality. It's a test. Don't fail your test. Don't get caught up in the bullshit, because the bullshit is there deliberately to tempt you to take it off your path. You know, so it's just crazy how my man just brought that in, because yeah, for me anyway, that's my truth. That's what I believe wholeheartedly, but that's my inner knowledge. It's my Gnostics.
Resurrected being. You would say that's Jesus, right?
No, you're referring to Kismet history?
Kesmet?
Kismet, sorry.
Kismet?
Go ahead.
I think you mean Kemet.
Kemet,
There we go.
Right.
Yes, sir.
What I'm going to say to you, let's cut to the chase.
Yes, sir.
Jesus, some people say that Jesus never died.
Mm-hmm.
And I would agree with that, because Jesus never lived.
Jesus did definitely
Jesus
live.
is a mythological
It's
figure.
an archetype.
No, there's over 25,000 manuscripts that prove the existence of Jesus. There's more proof on
25,000
Jesus.
manuscripts?
There's more proof on the existence of Jesus than there's proof on the history of Julius Caesar.
Name one of those manuscripts.
I can tell you that Tacitus was
Tacitus?
Tacitus.
Tacitus.
How would you spell
You
it?
don't know I'm a historian.
Okay,
so
go
I'm
ahead.
just
So
saying,
the Roman historian.
Just agree, just not.
I'm just
that's-
telling you. I'm saying the Roman historian
Yes.
proved that Pilate was the one behind the execution of
Did he
Jesus
do
Christ.
that? How did he do that?
Yes, he did. He wrote it. He followed the history up with it.
What year
So it was
did
documented.
Tacitus write that?
This is in around 500 AD.
Okay, and what year would you attest to Jesus living?
That was 2,026 years ago, based off of American history.
Let's
time.
give us your AD again. Come on now.
Go ahead.
Say
For
the
his death,
family.
his death is 33 AD, and
So
that's
you're
recorded
saying
with the red moon, and that has been proven as well.
So you're arguing that someone that wrote something nearly
Yeah.
500
Is
years
right.
later is the person that you want to cite for
Yeah.
historicity? Is that what you're saying?
So who are you going to cite for history that hasn't lived thousands of years as well? History is still fact at some point, even if it's recorded later on in time. Just because it's had
that's
prolonged
a
time doesn't mean
that's
that
a
it's not
sticky.
true.
You can't
Okay.
you can't
I knew
really
your
say that.
great-great-grandfather.
That's a big
Go
grey
believe me?
area.
No, I
Why
don't.
don't you believe me?
Because you weren't living at the same time.
Oh, wait a minute. Brother, are you on my side or are you on your side?
But you said you're a historian,
You
so
just
what's the
said that-
point of
There
studying
you
just
go. He
said
fell in that
reality
hole
in
in it.
Tacitus.
He fell in it.
Go ahead.
No,
So
listen,
who is your
when someone
historians
is
that you
digging,
look
give
up
them
to?
another shovel.
I'm just telling you.
Tell
this.
me, you
Who
just
did-
invalidated
So you're a
Tacitus.
historian. You're a
Yes,
historian,
I am.
and you're tearing apart history. For what reason?
No, I'm not telling
What?
you about history. I'm giving you a corrective analysis of history.
Come
so
on
please
now.
go ahead and start your
I'm
analysis.
telling you that just as you told us, Tacitus did not live during the time of Jesus.
That's correct.
And so you're
That's
saying
correct.
that he should be used
As the
as
reference.
a citation for his historicity.
Make that make
But
sense.
you're claiming, by the way, it wasn't 500 years. He got that date wrong. But we're going to go
Which-
with
which date was it? No, go ahead. What
No,
date
no,
was
we're
it?
going to go with your wrong date.
I would like to know
When
which
someone
date
is
it is.
digging, give them a bulldozer.
Yeah.
I'm giving you the bulldozer. I'm
Okay.
giving you
No,
the
no,
keys.
it's your
I'd like to
bulldozer.
know. I appreciate it.
I'm not
So
digging.
thank
He's
you.
a
I'd like to know
dickhead.
the
Never
correct
told
time.
me. Are you sure you want another one?
So I
I'm
would like to
saying
know
that.
the correct time.
You
to
know
keep
what?
let me
Please
test
get
it.
out the ring. Get out the ring. I'm a fighter. Yeah, I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter. Get out the ring, man. Get out the ring. But you're not having the same fight. He's a heavyweight and you're a featherweight. It's an unfair fight. That is crazy. That is absolutely, absolutely crazy. He's literally digging himself a hole and he doesn't even realise it's his hole. And then when my man tells him it's his hole, he turns around and says, thank you. Skits. That's how you know that the mind is a child, isn't it? The mind is a child. And you have to seek to tame it and you have to seek to teach it. You know what I mean? You really do. You really, really do, man. And I don't mean academically per se, but one must sit down with themselves and have thought, have time to think. You know, because if my man had had time to think, he wouldn't have ended up in that situation of saying thank you for digging his own hole. You know, because he would give himself time to process what his inner race to talk over my man instead of listening. You know, just listen a little bit.
Because I don't want it to just be something that's a statement.
Well, let me say this.
Go ahead.
You said there were over 25,000 manuscripts proving the historicity of Jesus.
Correct.
I asked you to name one, and you invalidated it. Name another.
I didn't invalidate it.
You just said
I'm telling you that
you
this
don't
is
believe,
still
You don't believe that I knew your great-great-grandfather because I didn't live during his time.
because you don't have any knowledge of my great
How do you know
grandfather.
that?
So go ahead, please tell me.
How do you know that I don't?
I would like to see if you
Your
do.
reason is because you said I didn't
You
live
are
during
still-
his time.
okay.
Tacitus didn't live during Jesus'
But
time.
your angle of trying to have a debate by just prompting yourself to say
I'm
that
gonna
everything
help
I'm
you.
saying is wrong.
Give us another one.
I would like
25,000
to-
is a large
No,
number.
I'm
Give us
asking
another.
you. I'm asking you to go ahead and tell me your basis of knowledge
What I'm
instead
saying
of
to
just
you is,
discrediting everything I'm saying
how
because.
how
Go
about
ahead.
I'll cut to the chase.
Yeah, sure.
Let's be very clear. We have no physical evidence and no textual evidence for a literal historical Jesus Christ. And to go
John
further,
20,
wait, hold
24.
on.
Okay,
hold
go
on,
ahead.
hold on.
I was going to say
Let's
that he
go
came in the
further.
flesh and there
Let's
were
go further.
witnesses.
Wait. Let's go further. Let's
Yes.
go further. Let's also recognize that much of that Jesus story is present in an earlier tradition.
Yeah.
The deity of resurrection was a deity that people worshipped, recognized for thousands of years before there was ever a Jesus.
And how do you believe that to be true?
Well, I mean, I'll take you on my next trip to Kemet so you can see the artifacts.
Well,
They
I'm
exist.
just asking. I would like to know, how do you believe those artifacts?
You
weren't there.
I just told you that
You weren't there when they were made. That could have been man-made. That could have been man-made.
What's an artifact?
Something that was found from the previous dated time.
From that period?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the artifact that
have you ever heard of falsified fossils?
Are you attempting to argue that the artifacts that we find
can be altered?
That are not questioned by any reputable scholar, any archaeologist, are falsified because, what's your name again?
I swear to God, I swear to God, I swear to God. Make it make sense, man. Make it make sense.
You ready for the bubbles?
Make it make sense. I don't listen to what he's saying. Well, don't even listen to what he's saying. You know what I mean? Because it's irrelevant. But it is true, isn't it? The Egyptians have already told us a story about the resurrection. The Egyptians have already told us about the Black Messiah. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Egyptians have already told us about the two brothers, which is Cain and Abel. Like, the story is already there. The stories are already there. The origins of the stories are already there. Why are we pretending? You know what I mean? It's a mad thing how blinded ignorance just has us looking at a blank wall when behind us there's a whole fucking colourful world out there. You know, but they've got us so brainwashed and so locked in. And you know what the joke is? Half of it isn't about being brainwashed, you know. And enough of it is about just people have just literally just sold out. They know it ain't real. They know this is all bullshit. They know that the vaccinations for COVID was a complete fucking hoax. But they're still standing there with the injecting it in you because it's their job. It's crazy.
So?
No, I'm not saying because Bro said so.
Okay.
I feel, see, that's the implication.
I'm saying to you
I think I'm being very clear in my question.
For all of the information I'm giving you. And I'm going to tell you that before there was ever a Jesus, before there was ever a Yeshua,
are still pieces
before
of
there
his
was
cross
a
in
Yeshua,
existence.
there are pieces of his cross?
Yes, in
Where?
existence. They're spread out amongst the people.
Okay.
What?
That was the plan.
That cross would have been used the next day to hang the next man.
So you believe, who put the cross up?
Jesus carried his own cross up.
No, I didn't ask you who carried it. I said who put it up?
Some of the Romans that were working
You're
at the fire.
suggesting that the Roman centurions gave it out to people like favors at a birthday party?
No, I'm not saying that. This
So
was
how
a
in the
sacrifice.
world
This was
do
a
you
sacrifice.
think that they have pieces
This was
of the cross?
This was a sacrificial ritual that they had. They had members that went up to the cross after he died when he was taken down and he was put inside of the tomb.
I know you don't know me, but usually this is the moment when I put up a sign that says source. Imagine it says source here. What's your source for that? The Bible says that they gave out the cross?
No, I'm saying the pieces of the cross were spread out.
And that's in the Bible?
Sure. Go.
What passage is that from?
I'm trying to tell you from John 20:24. Jesus came back when he returned. And that's when Thomas was questioning his existence, if he was really there or not. And Jesus told him, peace be with you. Hold on.
It says that they gave out
He said,
pieces of the cross.
hold on. He said, peace be with you. And that's when he invited him to reach his finger inside the hole in his hand.
I hope this AI is putting up.
It's popping off right now.
Did it?
I hope it's putting up 2024.
2024? Please.
2024 says they gave out pieces of the cross.
I did not say that he gave
Yes,
pieces
you
of
did.
the cross. I'm telling you about Jesus' existence when he returned. After that, the disciples made their agreements of what they were going to collect from the death site of Jesus. And that's what they passed on.
Here's another question.
Here's another question.
Which one?
John 20. You said John 2020 or?
John 20:24 is what I said.
I picked up John 20:20.
Yeah, I said John 20:24 when Thomas was questioning Jesus' existence.
They gave out pieces of the cross.
No, I'm telling you.
I asked you for your source.
Okay.
Of how the cross was given out to people.
My source for that is because of the pieces that have been retrieved that people still hold on to.
Did you know
that have been carbon dated?
Did you know that?
Yes.
Did you know that there are over 31 churches in Europe that say that they have the Holy Preface? You know what the Holy Preface is?
No.
Ooh. Who knows what the holy preface is?
I don't know what the holy
The
preface
foreskin
is.
of Jesus. Do you believe that they have the
Oh,
foreskin
shit.
of
That's,
Jesus?
no, I do not believe
You don't
that.
believe it?
I
But
do
they
not
have
believe
it.
they have the foreskin.
But
of
they
Jesus.
have it.
But that's not my reputable source that I'm going
Oh,
with.
that's not a
That's
reputable
disgusting.
You better tell
That's
the leaders of
disgusting.
those churches.
I will tell the leaders
It's
of
a
those
holy
churches.
relic.
That is disgusting.
It is a holy
That's
relic.
Okay, so where's your stance on Jesus?
I gave you a very clear stance.
Go for it.
Jesus never died because Jesus never lived.
So
He
you're
is
saying,
a mythological figure.
but you're saying that the figure that was speaked about previously before Jesus, that also resurrected and went to hell, you're saying that figure
Asar
didn't.
is also a mythological figure.
So okay, I'm
I
just
want to be
confirming.
clear.
I'm just
arguing
confirming
that
to
Asar,
see if you.
Some of you may know this name as Osiris.
Mm.
I am not saying that Asar or Osiris
Yeah.
was a literal physical person. This is a mythological figure. And that story that you know as Jesus is an echo of an earlier story.
Thank
Correct.
you.
And the reason why you don't know truly the story of Asar is because the early Christians destroyed it.
There you go.
I do know of the stories of Osiris. I do know the stories of Amun-Ra. I have looked into the book of Enoch. So I am in agreement.
The book of Enoch has the story of
No,
Asar?
I'm not saying that. This is just another
Why
side.
you mention Enoch?
I'm
Wait
just
for it.
saying this as a side.
You just,
as a side note,
let me just
just
check
in
it
case
in,
that's
edit.
where you're gonna go next.
One of the books that were left out the
Just in
Bible.
case. Okay, I'm taking.
I'm going to give you some credit
Hold on.
reading Enoch, by the
So,
way.
Yeah.
so I'm
Because
saying.
it's not in your canon.
So
No, it's not
of
in his
course,
canon.
but what I'm saying is I follow Christ in the sense of following the purposes and the practices that he spoke of, not following the entire book of Christianity.
Okay.
That's what I was being clear of in the beginning.
That's good.
Really?
So that's where
Okay.
I'm coming from on my
So
practice.
you agree with me that Jesus is a mythological character?
I do not
Whoa!
believe.
Ah!
Get this man a GPS. So explain to
Mythological
me
character.
why.
I did not
Hilarious.
say that Jesus Christ
is a
lived in
historical
existence.
character.
Jesus Christ lived in the flesh.
Okay.
And that's why when you use his name to wrap up any of your words, it's a spiritual protection and guidance from any of the dark energies that are around you.
Come on, man.
Excuse me?
There's so many people that don't even
He was
speak
at the
English
tomb
to
and
know
he
that
walked.
the name
That's
is
why he doesn't have a
Jesus, but they
gravesite.
still
He's
get
not
support
dead. He
spiritually.
still exists, and that's why he told you that you had that channeling. You had the power to go ahead and channel Jesus inside
His
of you.
body ascended into heaven.
I actually get upset. I actually take me to.
I didn't get upset.
I want to go see it.
He's
I wanna
not
put
dead.
flowers on the
He's
grave.
not dead. He left the
I wanna go
tomb.
put flowers on the tomb.
He left the tomb.
Take me to the tomb.
But he left the tomb.
Where is it?
Where
I'm
is
gonna
the
put flowers
tomb?
there in remembrance. Because
Okay.
my grandfather is dead. We know that he lived.
So we'll go
he got
to
a
Jerusalem.
tomb.
We'll go.
I can go put in some roses on.
But
it.
how do you know he's in there?
You can't take it.
But you don't know he's in there. How do you know? How do you know your grandfather's in that grave?
They could open
How
the
do you?
grave.
But
People open graves all the time.
and a lot of times bodies aren't inside of there, are they?
I don't know about a lot of times. Most times the bodies are still there.
How many times are they really opening these grave sites?
What do you mean? People get exhumed all the
Don't
time.
take the
But you're
conversation
saying that they're
there,
opening
man.
them and there's always a body inside there.
No, I didn't say there was always. I said
Okay,
most of the time those
but
bodies
most of the
are
time
there.
there's also
And the thing
grave
is-
robbers, and they've also found out
What?
that they're harvesting
Most of
organs
the
and
time
bodies.
there are grave robbers.
Go ahead. Yes.
Boy, you need some sources.
I'm
Oh
telling
man.
you,
Okay.
man.
Most of the time, family, you better get to the cemetery.
Go
Because
ahead.
this brother,
Because-
Rose, just said that your grandpappy's body is missing.
That's
You better
okay.
get over there.
And if they find out that they are missing, then what? This is a part of the
Well, then
program.
maybe they'll call them Jesus because his body isn't here.
Oh, okay.
Unless you believe in the holy preface.
But Jesus did walk afterwards. Did we see that Bible
Did
verse?
Jesus
of
walk afterwards?
Yes, for John 20:24. Did we see
Can
that
I ask you a
Bible verse
question?
pop up yet?
When
About
was
Thomas?
when was John written?
John was written hundreds of years after Jesus' existence.
And was it originally called the Book of John or called something
No,
else?
it was not originally called
So
the Book of
why
John.
are
That's
you
in the King
using
James.
an anonymous book from a later period as a source for
Reference.
historicity?
But
Yeah.
we don't have any accurate sources for
Thank you.
history.
You
if
said
that's-
something
But
correct.
no, what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Look,
they're
he
for
fell in
all
his own
history.
hole.
No, not true.
For all history.
Nothing
Not true.
accurate.
Because what are you basing it off of?
Okay.
There's
What are
always
you basing
translation.
it off if
Everything-
nothing is accurate?
Everything has to be.
Come with me
Go ahead.
to Kemet, and
Yeah.
I will show you hundreds
Reality.
of bodies
Yeah.
that have been studied of people who are buried.
But how do
And
you
we
know that
who
the
they
information
are.
is
Hold
accurate?
on. We know who they are.
With their names on the
We even
fucking
have bodies
tombs.
of their relatives, their ancestors. We have tombs. We have all
Yeah.
of the material culture that exists. None of this we have for Jesus.
No.
But
I'm
how
gonna-
do
let
you
me- let me
know
say
that
something.
those
And
names
these
are
are
correct?
older.
How do you know that the history
There
is
were
correct?
early Christians that also argue what I am arguing. That Jesus was not a literal character.
I
And
understand that.
unfortunately, they actually were laughing at the people who were doing the historical orthodoxy. They were saying they have no idea what they're talking about. And then they realized they were being wiped out.
Yeah. Murderer.
You are actually following the tradition
of murderers,
of very powerful Europeans
Yeah.
who sought to make this story literal.
Yeah.
But this story was also taken literal
Which
in
is the
Chinese
tragedy,
culture,
man.
in African culture. There's different depictions of Jesus of multiple races.
There is. That
But
is
I'm
the
saying
truth.
there's different depictions
When
of
did
Jesus.
You've got
in
the
multiple
Orthodox,
races.
the
You can go
Ethiopian
ahead and you can find the
Orthodox.
depictions of
When
Jesus.
did Jesus get to China?
It's not just white Jesus. You guys have this thing
Wait,
against white
when did
Jesus. There's different. No, he can't.
Bro, I knew
he's
your
a darker
great-great-grandfather. I knew
He's of
him.
a darker skin.
I knew your great-great-grandfather. We used to
The
shoot
Ethiopian
dice on the
Bible
corner.
exists. I don't
We used
understand
to
why.
trick a little bit.
Because of the fact that you guys are against white Jesus.
It's not nothing to do with white or black. I get that there's
I
a
want to
black
be
mass
very
there,
clear.
but
I want to be
that's still
very clear.
Egyptian.
If you are aware of the traditions that are earlier than Yeshua,
Yeah.
and then you looked at the clear paucity of evidence,
Yeah.
of credible evidence for Jesus,
That it possibly happened multiple times.
Wait a minute, and then you looked at the fact that the early Christian church sought to destroy the Kemetic tradition. You would begin to say something smells fishy, and it would not have been the fishes multiplied by your Savior. You need to understand. Was that blasphemous?
Yeah, that is blasphemous.
Okay. What is blasphemy?
You're saying it in a sense to mock and disrespect.
No, I'm not mocking. I'm not mocking.
But
I'm
you said the
I'm
fish,
saying
it
that
smells
that
fishy like the
tradition
fish.
is mythological, is what I'm saying.
I just feel like you
Oh, don't get sensitive now.
you have a very predetermined mindset.
Okay.
And I'm not in disagreement with it. What I'm saying to you is, if you're saying that it's falsified because it might have happened in different occasions in history.
No, that's not what I said.
Okay, so I'm trying to clear it up.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're saying that this happened previously before Christ, so it doesn't mean that it had to be true, because there's also history that Osiris went through the same resurrection process. Does that not mean that the resurrection process happens multiple times in existence of Earth? That means that Simeon Toto can be another form of Jesus Christ. There can be other Jesus Christ that come in multiple fashions. It does not mean solely that that was the only time. Would you be in agreement to that or not?
Slowly coming to the light.
Yeah.
This is my point. I've been
You
trying
are
to say.
Jesus and you are Asar, but neither of them are literal.
Yeah.
Neither of them are historical.
Energy.
So how is it not historical if it's not?
I'm not saying
we're covering it now. This is a part of history.
I'm not saying that you can't actually say that you are a follower of Jesus or a follower of Asar.
Right.
I'm just saying when you try to make it a historical story, you do that with overwhelming religious bias. And when you look at the historical analysis,
it's not factual.
There was no Jesus.
But if there is different coverage that's beyond history from the Bible,
history,
does that still not count as history? If other people are reporting and covering and talking about Jesus,
which history
we're in
is,
the year 2026
it's
AD.
unreliable.
Hold on 1 second. We're in 2026 AD. We're all in agreement to this. If we're not in 2026, what year are we in?
Well, we don't know what year
we're
we're in.
What year is China in?
Wait, let's.
Yeah, Ethiopia's got a different calendar.
Right? Is it still
we don't know where we are.
Not Anno Domini de Jesus Christi?
It's 13 months actually, so you gotta go by.
There you go.
So,
see, this is what I was saying yesterday, because even with the February bullshit, you know, the moving the days of the February, then it's turn your clocks forward, turn your clocks back. We don't know where we fucking are in time and space, blood. That's why time really is irrelevant, because whatever you think the time is, that ain't the time. However old you think you are, that's not your age. You know what I mean? So we have to bond that Ross Clark, man. When I started writing out the Arcadian dates on my paperwork, and it was saying A.45B B C ... whatever. Like the time and date is written in about 20 characters for the time and date. You know what the time is? It looks like are they called navigation codes? You know, like when you're going somewhere on a map. What are they called on a map? Coordinates. That's what the times looks like on the documents. They look like a set of coordinates. But there's about 7 of them. There's 7 letters with different numbers, codes by each letter. So there's 7 numbers that make up one coordinator to say that I was born on this day at this time. My birthday, I had to go back in time using the Arcadian clock on the system, and it gave me these code numbers. And then when I wanted the date for the date that I was sending the letters, I had to put in different details, and it took me to another part, and then it gave me these 7 letters with different digital codes on the letters to say this is the date. This is what the actual real date is. You know, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? So yeah, time and space different.
But it's still AD, right?
No, it's 1446 this year.
1446. Where did you get that from?
You gotta take away the time they stole. You gotta take away the fact that it's actually 13 months. So take away all of that, right? And then you take away the time they stole, when they replace history, you're gonna come up to the same year.
1446. I please would like to see the math on that.
But well, I'm going to
What
tell you
year would
something
you say we're in?
interesting.
Go
I'm going
ahead.
to tell you something interesting. All of the texts that you're referencing, none of them actually were written at the time that Jesus existed.
Yeah.
And many of
That's a
them, we have
fact.
earlier versions of them that are different than the versions we need now.
Yeah.
And there were entire books that were left out of the canon.
Yeah.
Just the Bible that you read.
That's correct.
Aren't you at the point at this point where you don't trust the institution
Come
that
on
gave
now.
you that book?
Come
Of
on
course.
now.
Okay, good.
Of
So
course.
then why are you
But
citing the book that they gave you as
Yeah.
proof?
You asked me the source, and that's the
But wait,
physical
wait.
source.
Here's the question.
That's the physical
Why
source. Now, if you'd
are
like to know my
you-
spiritual source,
Why?
that's
Oh.
different.
No, I'm not asking for your.
No, please,
But- so I
dude.
gave you the,
Matter.
but I
That's
gave you the,
another matter.
but I gave you the physical
Oh.
source.
I'm saying that source is not a good historical source. That's what I'm
Standard.
saying to you.
And that's fair.
It wasn't written during the time that Jesus lived.
Yeah.
It certainly wasn't written by someone named John.
No.
Of course not. These names were interpreted later
So
on
then
under
why are
King
you
James.
using them as a historical source?
You asked me for because it's still written in
So
part of
thi-
history.
How many,
This was
how
still
many
one
comics do
study.
you think there are of Peter Parker Spider-Man?
There
More than
are multiple-
25,000?
There are multiple interpretations of Peter Parker.
Peter
You're
Parker
absolutely correct.
Spider-Man is a
Yeah.
historical character then.
There you go.
Yeah, he is a part of history because he does exist.
No,
does
no,
he
no,
not?
no, no, no.
Does he
no,
not
no.
exist?
We're talking
Do the
about
comics
a
not exist?
literal historical
If you
figure.
can say a physical date for the creation of Peter Parker, he exists.
So then you
So
believe that
if we
Zeus
have
existed.
hold on.
So you
Yes,
believe that
in the
Zeus
sense that he
existed?
did. This
You
is a
believe
form
that
of a
Zeus
demigod.
existed?
This is a form of a demigod as well.
Who's a
I
form
know
of
they
demigod?
call
Jesus
him
is
a
a
god.
demigod?
No, I said Zeus. You
Zeus
asked
is a
me about
demigod.
you're asking me about Zeus.
Uh-oh. It seems like he has to go back and learn Greek history.
Yeah.
No, I understand that Hercules is deemed a demigod, but I'm saying a demigod in the sense of the
So you
fallen
believe
angel.
that Zeus existed?
Hold on.
Because I thought Zeus would be a god and a demigod would be Hercules. Like the demigod is a cross between a human and a god. I thought that's what a demigod was.
The fallen angels that came down to
Yeah,
earth
and
that had
Nephilim.
sex with humans, and they were of
Fallen
course.
angels. You're mixing a lot of stuff
Yeah.
together.
a
No,
lot
this
of
is what
stuff,
this is
but-
talked about inside the Bible as well, and this
Forward.
is where we have these
Yeah, but you're not going
demigods
to look
from.
in the Bible
That's
for
what
information
Zeus
around
is.
Zeus. So you
No,
believe that
But
Zeus
I'm
is a,
saying that
No,
you
Zeus is a
believe
god.
exists.
He
You
didn't
believe
come
that
down.
Zeus
is a
pieces.
literal historical figure. That's
Yes,
what you're saying.
Sure, go ahead. Yes,
But
You
it-
do?
yes. I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah.
you can shoot
I'm
lightning.
telling
Certain
you, it's
Greek
not
ones,
Sunday,
you
but
can
they're
shoot
not going to let
lightning.
you back at church on Sunday.
Go.
They're not going to let
These
you in.
different religions
They gonna
all
say, "Oh, no, we
correspondingly
closed, brother."
overlap at once. No, no. I would like to know his sources.
If you just switch it right now, you know everything he's saying. You just on that side, so you're trying to go against it when you should.
Religious bias.
I feel you.
Because you're not a fucking Christian.
Yeah.
I follow Christ. I'm not a Christian in the sense of going to the church. I follow Christ. Christianity is following Jesus Christ.
No, it's not.
No, I'm not a
No, no, no.
Gnostic.
It's accepting
I
that
believe in
everything in the
following
Bible,
He said a
the
bunch of
word
things that
of
were
Jesus,
nonsense.
the word of the Bible is the word. And
He
you
said a
accept
bunch of
Christ.
things that
I follow
you said
Christ.
a bunch of things
I
that wouldn't be
follow
accepted
Christ.
in the modern church.
I understand that, and that's why I have issues with the pastors in the modern church. I have issues with
Issues
some
with
of
them lying about a historical figure.
no.
Okay, so that's probably. The
I have
problem you should
issues with
have
making
them.
profit on the name of God and the name of Jesus.
Okay.
I have issues with making a mockery of it, and I have issues that they're going ahead and they're perpetrating and pushing through different verses like in Leviticus that tell you about being a good slave. I don't go hand in hand with those. I know that that's from the manipulation of the book that's been indoctrinated across the land. I have an issue with
That's a
that.
good start. That's a good
But
start.
I'm saying I am a follower of Christ.
Okay, but you can be a follower of Christ. We're talking about
Right,
We're
so that
talking
is
about
a Christian.
We're
No,
talking about
I'm
whether
a follower
Christ
of Christ.
was a literal,
I'm not a Christian.
historical, living
Yes.
person.
So
That's what we're talking about.
So let me
Christ
go
I'm
ahead.
not contest. I'm not saying you can't be a follower
Wait,
of
okay.
Christ. I would
So-
never say that to
So
you.
thank you. So
I'm
now
just
that
saying
we're back on the bias.
Jesus didn't die because he never lived. Are you forgetting the prompt?
I know. I'm not forgetting the prompt. I'm back to you.
Okay.
So they recorded for 33 AD that
Yep.
there was a sun moon.
Who
there was a
recorded that?
blood moon. They recently just released this information.
Okay.
So,
That there was a confirmed blood moon that was
Okay.
talked about on the night of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
That was a part of a satanic ritual. Jesus Christ was killed for a satanic ritual.
what?
Where do you get that from?
Wow.
You're going-
It's
he's
got
going even
deep
farther
now.
afield than I'm going. I'm not going to let you
I'm
get into
telling
church
you.
on Sunday.
That's fine.
Come to the
Because-
shrine. We'll let you in. We'll let you in.
Look, man, I like
Fuck
you,
you.
and I don't
I
have
like
no
you
issue
too.
with you.
Shit.
But I do understand
Right.
where you stand on this.
No, you
but
don't.
I'm telling you that you can fact check that as well for 33 AD.
So you're suggesting that if
blood
there
moon.
was a blood moon,
Yes, that was discussed.
that means that
Definitely
Jesus literally was
satanic.
crucified at that time.
Yeah,
Yes.
under
You know
a
that when
satanic
you
They
read,
documented-
wait, listen.
Yes, go
When
ahead.
you read comic books about Peter Parker, Spider-Man, they often use historical events. I have a cover of Peter Parker meeting Barack Obama. I think we both agree that Barack Obama is a literal figure, right?
Correct.
So does that mean that Spider-Man is a literal figure, someone that actually lived?
Do you agree that Pilate was a literal figure?
I think that we have proof now that Pilate was a literal figure.
Okay, but he interacted with Jesus Christ, and he was the one behind the execution.
So then you
of
believe
him.
that Peter
So
Parker...
would you-
Wait.
Go ahead. I like where you're going. Go
So
ahead.
then you're saying you believe that Peter Parker Spider-Man is literally someone who lived.
Did Peter Parker in real life not meet Barack Obama?
In real... What do you mean
Tom
by real
Holland.
life?
Tom Holland, the actor, did. So he still met Barack
I
Obama.
know what Tom Holland did.
He did.
Did he play Jesus? No.
He didn't
Oh,
play
he played
Jesus.
We
But
Monkeys.
in the sense of the question,
Monkeys.
Spider-Man did meet Barack Obama in that sense.
So that means that
can
you
that
believe
not
Oh,
that
yeah,
be
that's
Peter
Spider-Man's a
mean that
fictional
art
character.
and history cannot exist in one?
What I'm saying to
These
you,
comics can also be the
what I'm
same
saying to you
depiction of
is,
something that is
I
real.
think
I
that you're
agree.
losing the point that we're
I'm
making.
not.
Let's wrap this
Jesus
up.
Christ did
Yeah.
exist. Go
The
ahead.
point that we are making is that Jesus Christ was not a literal physical person. That's the point we're making. Is there a mythological story about him? Of course there is. Of course there is. And I even think there's wisdom to be learned by his story. But when we
But it's a
try to
repeated
make that
story?
story literal, historical, we have problems.
So what proof do you have that
We have already,
disproves
though.
that Jesus exists?
I just told you.
Just because you haven't found anything.
The first thing
So if
is...
you don't find anything that means it doesn't exist.
Wait. It's not just not finding things. It's also looking at the fact that much of his story was told in an earlier tradition, and then the people that told you that there was a literal Jesus sought to wipe out that tradition.
Yeah.
I understand. So
right off the bat,
Yeah.
you should say something is
It's
fishy.
fishy.
I understand what you're saying, but the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
That's
Something
true.
can still be there.
That's true.
Let's move on.
That's
Please
true.
hit like and subscribe. It helps us grow the show and helps us get bigger guests. Thank you so much.
That was a point. Just it to break when I just put a piece of chocolate in my mouth. I do enjoy conversations like that though. I think what would have been a better conversation though is if 607 and my mum, the historian, was debating. They'd probably agree, but it would be good if they had a debate on a topic that they didn't agree on, so that they could draw on multiple opinions and facts. That would be interesting. It doesn't make sense a high-level person have a conversation with 10 Christians if the 10 Christians are coming from it from a level that just, you know what I mean? It's like 19 Keys. He has high-level conversations, but I find that 19 Keys brings on a lot of people that are high-level intellect. And to me, I feel like 19 Keys isn't at that level. Not with everybody, but like, for example, then I'll give an example. I watched the video in 2024, 19 Keys and he had blue pill and red pill on there. Blue pill and red pill are having a completely different conversation tonight in Keys, man. I want to sit down with them mans and have a conversation. Because I'm about the red pill and the blue pill, but guess what? There's a purple pill. You know, but I find that 19 Keys regurgitates a lot of what he's heard. So it comes across as intelligent. So I'm not going to take it away from him that, you know, there is an element of intelligence there, but his intelligence don't come from lived experiences, you know, and he's got lived experiences, don't get me wrong, but there's a spiritual you know, when you're tapping into your past life, that's what I mean about lived experiences. Like, you can tap into shit that goes way back. He's asking people about their spiritual experiences as opposed to putting his own encounters on the table. And I think unless you're locked in on a spiritual level, it's really difficult to kind of reach your genius gene, because there's a genius gene that you lock into. A man can go from knowing nothing and knowing everything because he's locked into that gene. It's like my man, what's his name now? Fuck. He does, he's a dread. He's lost a lot of weight recently, but he's a dread. And prior to him getting sick, he was a heroin addict or coke. He was on coke, he did weed, he did all kinds of shit. Ended up in the hospital, ended up on medication, and then healed himself and actually gained a qualification degree and everything. And you listen to that man, he's self-taught and he's a fucking genius, an inner genius.
Around longer, right? You said Earth is a prison planet, so why they not trying to die?
I'm gonna ask you a question. You said a lot of things. I know niggas in prison that don't want to get out, but you said something about. Repeat your question.
Why are they usurping
Not
energy
about the
from
blood.
Why do they need blood to live longer if this is a prison planet and they want to die?
You said nobody want to die. You said it's not possible.
No, I'm asking why they not trying to get up out of here. Like, if you look at the
why
if
you
look at hold on. If you look at, like, let's just say Egyptians, right? Just so everybody understand what I'm saying. If you look at Egyptians, they studied how to die and not come back, right?
I don't think
So
you get it.
why is beings
No
here
one
usurping
stu- no one-
adrenochrome to stay here longer?
No one studied how to die. That thing that you just said was kind of like
transcend. Whatever you
yeah,
want to say.
exactly. So nobody studied how to die. See, a lot of people think that they was born dying, but then that's because they dead. Listen, I'm gonna say this. What I was talking about was stem cells, gang. That's
Right.
inside of.
Like a petri dish.
Exactly. Not talking about stem cells that's inside of your blood that they use in order to keep youth in the body. See, you're trying to confuse a lot of different things. You're trying to confuse the spiritual reality with the physical reality, right? I'm talking about this reality as far as the physical reality. Right now, they're taking synthetic cells and putting them inside your body.
Right.
They creating them.
Foods,
They
bioengineered ingredients.
Yeah.
When you look at the back of your Lay's.
Yeah, I'm talking about
fake
that.
strawberry.
Yeah, I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about what you think I'm talking about. I'm talking about actual ways
But you
so your body won't age.
If they want to live longer, they gonna keep drinking the blood, right? They gonna keep usurping it. We in Babylon, right? Everybody can agree on that. We in a modern day Babylon.
Who said that? You said that.
I said that.
I say right now. See this.
I'm gonna tell you why we in a modern day Babylon. You look at the flag, right? The LTTT flag. I'm just gonna say that y'all understand what I'm saying, right? It's flipped upside down because the chakra color is at the bottom. So you see the purple crown frequency is sitting at the bottom, right? And the red root chakra is at the top.
Right.
What run the land right now? Degeneracy, debauchery, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying?
To say all of that, you had to think about it right now. To say all of you just said, you had to think about it right now.
I had to think about it or pull it from my memory.
You had to say it right now. It only existed right now. There's no way, even right now, if you're going to say, okay, cool, something going to happen in the future, when you get to the future, it's going to only be right now. All we have is right
present,
now.
We talking about right now. We in Babylon. It's the Pride Month right now.
But you're using things from different realities that's also happening that don't have nothing to do with this
We in a
reality.
multiverse.
But you're here right now. That cannot help you right now. See,
why I can't?
Because listen, I'm going to say this. Information can't help you right now. Only thing that can help you right now is
information can always help you if it's being applied.
Only thing that can help you right now is the fact you understand yourself and learn how to deal with you, right? Because a lot of people want to worry about information, but information can't help you. I know a lot of niggas that think they smart. They read a whole lot of fucking books. It don't help.
It don't help.
Listen, the only thing that's gonna help you is to take control of you, to understand that it's only you, and information can't help you, right? Listen, a lot of people assume that information is good, but they're gonna pass the information. You're gonna forget you. All I'm gonna say is this. Only thing that we both can prove right now that we're sitting across from each other in this moment.
Yeah.
Anything else that you saying, we can't even say that it happened.
So
only by another man.
So who made the prompts?
What's a prompt?
You playing the loser.
No, I'm asking you what's a prompt. Explain to me what a prompt is.
A prompt is a set of questions.
Now ask your question again.
What is a prompt?
The question is the answer. Right? I don't think you understand. Because a lot of people say a lot of things, but once you say it, you already told yourself the answer because everything exists inside you.
On the prompt, it say that you agree that we live in a simulation planet, right? I live in a simulation, Earth simulation. 607 the character agreed to a simulation
Who said
planet,
it? Who
right?
told you? Did you come on my
It's
mouth?
written on the paper.
But did you see or hear me say it? Listen, he just said that Jesus was here and nobody can understand and validate that.
There's no
that paper don't mean
sky
that paper suggests that I said that. It don't mean that I said
they didn't
that.
even use J's in the alphabet.
He said that. He put that there. Them are his thoughts. Them are not mine. So we're here having a conversation. So
but you agreed to it when you sat down and spoke with me.
No. I didn't agree. I agreed to sit down.
You agreed with the prompts.
No, I agreed to sit down.
You made a spiritual contract.
No.
You sat down or somebody walked out.
I agreed to sit down.
Okay.
Right? And I'm agreements to this conversation. Right? I have not heard a topic.
Okay, so let me see that prompt. My first claim, 607 versus 10. They said, this is why I said 607 because I already said my. It didn't say first claim is that. It says my first claim. Unless he didn't spoofed you or jugged you or what is called, defrauded you, your my.
Right. It
says my first claim is that Earth is a prison planet, right? So why is there beings here usurping blood to stay here longer? It can't be that fucked up.
I'm saying this. Listen, I'm gonna say this again. For me, I know niggas that's better in prison. Right? They go to prison. No, I'm free. They go to prison and they better in prison because no matter where you go, it's a prison. Relationship with prison.
Right.
You go relationship and it get.
But you can be in a relationship and be free in your mind.
But not at 3 o'clock in the morning. Even if you ain't doing that, you gonna go start tripping because this girl gonna be tripping. It's gonna the thought go in your mind because she gonna think you doing something else. You are in her prison. Trust is a prison.
So if I end that relationship where the prison stand, I'm free now.
No. There you go. Freedom is peace. Relationships is prison because. Let me tell you about relationship because it's trust, right? You say trust is good. Everybody's like, man, I want to trust everybody. I can't do that. Fuck trust because I only trust the fact that whatever you do, I trust in the fact that I'm gonna be okay with it, right? And whatever decision you make is good for you.
That's it. When I was doing my PhD, I had to do a module, and part of the module we were discussing trust, and I turned around and said, I don't trust. And the lecturer made such a big hoo-ha about it, like, I've got trust issues. And I said, but what is trust? And she was like, trusting is knowing that somebody's going to do something, but you accept it anyway, basically. Some bullshit along that. And I said, well, then definitely I don't trust. I do not accept that you're going to do something that I don't want you to do. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I understand you're going to do, that is a possibility, but I don't accept it. So therefore, I don't want you around me to even give you the opportunity to go on with your fuckery. You know what I mean? And I think for me, I've grown up, if you like. I've grown up since then, because now I don't necessarily see trust as a prison. I see trust as surrendering to the vulnerability. So the issue isn't about the acceptance, because that's what I had a problem with. No, I don't accept it. What I've learned to do is to surrender to the things that I don't accept because they don't matter anyway. As long as I trust me, it doesn't matter about the trust about the people around me, because I trust me. So I will always make the right decision for me. And whatever that decision is, the outcome will be right for me, regardless if a motherfucker was being honest or not. As long as I'm true to myself, I'm good. You know, so... But I couldn't have got to that point without surrendering to accepting trust. And that actually it is accepting that somebody has the ability to hurt you. Yeah.
But through your journey, you was able to access peace or freedom, right? So why can't I access freedom on Earth?
It's kind of crazy because what journey? Because, like, again, if left and right is different, I suggest that nothing is ever moving, that it's never a journey. Mm-hmm. I suggest that everything is at a standstill and everything's happening in the mind. Mm-hmm. That's what I suggest. Yeah. Right? Because I don't think nobody can prove that anything is moving. Because right now they say the earth moving, but you got other people that prove that it's not. Right now, you got people saying the Earth is flat. You got other people that prove that it's not.
But it don't matter.
No, because it's no
Don't
Earth
matter.
is not a location.
Right.
So I think everybody get it wrong when they try to make it a location. They try to make it a shape. Earth is a shapeshifter.
So do you think it's like an architect of the Matrix?
No,
Like how they show
Earth is a shapeshifter. It changed with the thoughts.
But the reason why I asked you, do you think it's an architect of the Matrix? Because who's setting up a simulation? A programmer.
Oh, no,
so who the fuck is that?
Everybody think that because it's a program that they got to have a programmer. That's what you suggest. But the way it's no programmer. But if you want to call it a programmer, we got to call that programmer God. But it's
God?
not. But it's not a God that's making a decision. Listen, whatever you want to call it.
It's
God,
right?
creator.
But it's guys that run on this planet. It's guys that run on this planet. That's okay, right?
But listen, everything is God because listen, everything exists inside of God. So if you take one,
let me say this: I think of God as generator, operator, destroyer of my realm. When I think of the word God, right?
Then that's God.
But the creator, I didn't create my heartbeat. I didn't create my heart.
That's fair enough.
I didn't create none of how my body is.
Right.
Who designed this? Okay, somebody designed this table, right?
Right.
Who designed these human suits?
That's what caused a lot of stress. See, a lot of people think that. Listen, I'm gonna say this right now. If people walked outside and it was $1 million on their doorstep, they're gonna just spend it. They're gonna enjoy it. Then they're gonna say, "Who sent me this money?" Now they're gonna spend all the time in their head like, "Who sent me this money?"
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. Human perception is to want to know too much. You're here to observe this reality, right? You're here to enjoy this reality, right? You're here to feel emotions, both fear, pain, all of them. You're here to feel, but you're not here to live in any of them.
I'm not supposed to overstand.
No,
like when you say
supposed to be the observer.
I grew
that
up
is
in, like,
so
I'm not
sick.
in a wire or nothing. But
I want
my
to stop
dad,
this video now because it's going on for long. But that is so sick because that's how it feels to me. I'm doing these videos because I am actually observing myself having the human experience that I'm having, while also being aware of the spiritual being within himself. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it is. I am just literally supposed to get up every day and observe my actions. So all this week, I haven't had a timetable. I've just got up and I've just allowed Spirit to lead me. And today, Spirit led me to the most beautiful little calf by the canal. And tomorrow, they're having a vegan reggae festival, which I'm going because I got a message yesterday to say that in the next 48 hours, something different's going to take place. And the next 24 hours and so far, that has been the case. So I'm interested to see what tomorrow leads to. But I'm going with it. I'm just observing what Spirit's doing. I'm just listening to what's being said to me. Listening to the inner voices. Listening to the God within. And just stepping out. And it's working. It's fucking working. So, you know, that's why I'm recording the journey, because, you know, it's a different thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a different thing. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna see. So on that one, I'm gonna say good night. Mwah. Catch this one anyway and listen to the end.